Thank you very much. Appreciate your patience. Let me have your attention again. After working with the Rules Committee, they have decided that we will open the rules up for amendments at this time prior to it being voted up or voted down. So at this time, do we have the gentleman with the mics ready to give that to people on the floor? So at this time, the draft rules have been read, and at this time the chair will open the floor up for amendments to said draft rules. Yes.
Sir, I move that all votes from this point forward be by simple majority.
I've been asking myself a lot lately what it means to be a Republican, and I've been going back to the Founding Fathers.
Sir, out of order.
Thomas Paine wrote, "The tyranny of the majority." Our country is ruled by law, not by a majority of people. We need to consider that. If the rules are 2/3, we need to stick to the rules.
Sir, would you please pass the microphone on?
Point of order.
The floor is open to amendments to the proposed rules, nothing else at this point. So if you're going to do something, make sure it has to do with these rules and nothing else.
Point of information.
Request the chair to please read the rules again.
The rules have been posted prior to you entering the room, and I think that is sufficient besides having been read. So let's proceed. Does this gentleman over here have a mic? And your point?
Aren't we supposed to decide if there's amendments now, or we accept the rules?
Sir, we cannot hear you. You'll have to put the mic closer.
Don't we decide if the amendments are now, or if we're accepting the rules as they are now, or the amendment on the floor is a majority? I don't understand how we got here, except that there was a circle of people up there who decided for us what was going to be done.
Sir, maybe I should have explained this earlier as to why the Rules Committee decided to change the presentation on the rules. Because of paragraph number 5 that says 1 minute limitation to any one individual and 8 minutes to any proposition. Because of the time limit, according to Robert's Rules of Order, it takes a 2/3 majority vote in order to pass the rules with that time restraint in it. So if you so desire, we can go ahead and do a stand-up vote on the rules as presented, if you so desire, but it will take 2/3 of a majority to pass the rules as they are, and that's why the Rules Committee chose to open it up for amendments prior to voting on it. But if the caucus thinks they want to vote on it at this time, as is, and then make amendments, we shall do that.
I move that. I second. We've got a speaker on the floor.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, is a motion to amend the rules in order at this time.
Second.
I would like to make a motion to amend the rules. Mr. Chairman, in the spirit of cooperation and unity, and recognizing both the importance and the difficulty of electing a Republican in November, I move to strike item 4B from the rules and insert the following language. The caucus shall select a combined slate composed of delegates whose numbers are...
Order. Let the gentleman speak.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, in the spirit of cooperation and unity, and recognizing both the importance and difficulty of electing a Republican in November, I move to strike item 4B from the rules and insert the following language. The caucus shall select a combined slate composed of delegates whose numbers are proportional to the support the various candidates have from today's caucus attendees. Thank you.
At this point, the chair is going to revert back to the original motion and second that was made on the floor, which is to adopt the rules as so posted and as so read. So at this point, we will take a standing vote. Those that are in favor of the draft rules as stated and read, please stand.
Sit down.
Point of order.
Sit down, Steve.
There was a motion on the floor, never finished. The motion was seconded.
This is a crucial vote, and this was the first motion that was on the floor. The motion was made and seconded, and we're going to follow through with this motion.
No.
We are not voting, we are not discussing anything at this time. We're strictly doing a stand-up vote or a stand-down vote, and then we will proceed from there.
If you don't like the vote, if you don't like the rules, sit. That's all you gotta do.
Point of information. Point of information.
During a vote.
I just want to clarify very specifically that this vote is, if you are not in favor of the acceptance of the rules as written, you should not be standing, because this is a vote for the acceptance of the rules as written.
Do you remember what the amount was for him? It was 418, and we had maybe 163.
There were 163 for Melissa and 232 for Walt, for Chair.
Mom, the 163 votes for votes all in something, we have it with the 2/3 majority.
Right. That's our point, why we don't want it to just...
Yeah, we have about 40%. they're voting on the wrong thing. I don't know. At this point, I think they might have some.
Oh, hey, I shouldn't stand.
I think
Keep sitting.
Sit down, they don't worry.
I know the original number, the things changed.
Is that right?
And there were people who voted.
I don't think now's a very good time to be recording.
Are you being counted? Then you need to do yourself. They don't know that.
We're good.
Right. They'll count you.
We'll make sure we're counted when all
Then they'll have to recount again. Yeah.
same thing.
Down to my last cookies, I can't.
I've got some
Well,
dumb
here's the thing.
Most dumb
It's got them a little circle in the
I'm going to stop recording.
Needed?
Point of order, sir.
Vote, a standing vote on opposing drafting of the rules.
Point of order.
What is the point of order, please?
I rescind the motion, sir.
I feel the decision to make a vote before you took this vote. That takes your authority away as chairman to give it to the assembly as to whether or not we can do it.
Did you hear that?
If we follow Robert's Rules of Order, which apparently that is very good today. Let's follow Robert's Rules, the only one is fair treatment.
If I understand you correctly, you want the caucus to vote, stand up vote, yes or no, as to whether what I ruled earlier stands?
We had a gentleman that made a motion to delete one of the paragraphs. You're wanting to accept the rules as written, and that is the point where I appeal. We need to consider as a group whether or not we want to suspend the rules where a percentage of the people represented today that are all Republicans. I've got a minute.
Sir?
Sir, do I not have a minute to speak?
There was a motion on the floor.
I appeal
to this floor. Prior to this, and we reverted back to the original motion that the body made and was seconded, and that's what we have now voted on. May we continue?
Continue.
Okay. Now, will those that oppose the draft rules please stand to be counted? And do make sure those that cannot stand have their hand raised.
Make sure I'm counted. I understand everybody conducting that.
You guys are going to have to get someplace to stay for a minute.
Yes.
The total count of the vote that opposes is 123.
The majority carries. Hold on.
Well, actually, it's 123 to 257. Did that count that?
257. That's a total, God.
Now it's down to
Okay, now
380.
we have drafted rules that have been voted into place. So at this point, the chair will open
Chairman,
the...
point of order.
32.3.
Yes, Melissa.
The rule of approval requires 2/3. The ayes do not have 2/3.
Melissa?
They do just.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of information. Is it possible to elect or select 2 or 3 people that would be the official counters from the different campaigns we're coming up with different numbers. So I would like to make a motion at this time that we appoint official counters from the different organizations or campaigns to make it all fair and everybody go home happy.
Second.
Sir, at the start of the caucus, the Credentials Committee was appointed to be the tally counters, and at that point, I think that should stand.
I have a motion on the floor.
And a second. Motion has been seconded.
The gentleman that had the mic previously, they reopposed.
Yes, sir.
What was your difference in the count? What was your opposition to the count that was?
I had 139. What did you have, Colin?
Oh, that would do it. You need 128.
Big difference in count.
Big difference.
That would give us the win.
Huge.
We only need 128.
Mr. Chairman, it was really hard to count this side over here because we had so many people moving around. So I would suggest that we have everybody get in their place and you have one counter from each campaign and to count them again.
Yes.
Speak up, though.
If I understand what is next is, this is supposed to be open for amendment to the rules.
No. That is correct. Yes, that is the next step.
The motion I just heard should be presented as an amendment to the rules.
No,
now, if I have amendments I want to make to the rules.
Prior to approval.
It sounds like that individual who's just there is making a proposal for an amendment to the prevailing rules. Is that incorrect?
Yes.
That's incorrect. Can we just do a recount?
Point of information.
Let's proceed for a minute here. Let's do a recount of those that oppose the drafted rules and 2 people from those that oppose it, and I'd like 3 from the Credentials Committee to vote. Count.
I could count.
If you want to recount, it will be 2 and 3.
Take it! The Credentials Committee has been fair.
Can't argue about everything.
Are you counting? Are you counting? She's on the Credentials Committee. No, I'm not on the Credentials Committee.
If you're not standing in the seat.
Okay, there you go.
Connie, take a seat so
We're all close, but we're not exact. What we would like to do is have everyone sit down and that we take a count row by row.
Okay, we can do that then. Please be seated.
What believes this is, but what is this vote for the adoption of the rules, and after the adoption of the rules, there is no further opportunity to amend them. Would you specify exactly and be extraordinarily clear and explicit on that, please?
Thank you.
As I stated earlier, this is a vote up are down on the draft rules as they were presented by the Rules Committee. After, if it is voted down, then the floor is open for rules. If it is voted, let me explain. Take the mic away from him for a minute. If the rules are voted in, then the floor will be open for amendments to the rules. That's exactly what I stated at the start of this process. Would you please be seated, please.
Would you like it recorded? We can play it back.
We're going to roll by roll.
When the rules are accepted,
What are we doing?
Well, now we're standing, I guess.
Why? What are we standing for? What are we standing for?
If you vote, you gotta stand up.
What? Against the rules or
Wait.
Hold on, we need to avoid confusion here.
This is a recount of the opposition of the rules. When your row is pointed at, please
No,
stand.
you guys stay down. We haven't counted this row now. Let's do it together. Okay? So stand on row 2 if you're for the rules. Again.
There's some confusion, but we got it.
So stand if we're against the rules?
Yes.
All right.
Here's your alphabet.
School boards, health department,
Stand if you are against the rules.
Right here. We're on this row.
She told us we could sit.
What's his name? Stand up. Stand up. Oh, okay. He's waiting for his row.
We clearly have 1/3. All we need is 84 votes. So.
How many? Over there.
You're not counting me. Sit down.
That section that come back.
They'll go back out.
What about lunch? Is like, so I can really participate.
He loves you.
I know he does. He's really good. It's fine. Many of them are sick today, so. We don't normally have a Saturday off, so this is a sacrifice for him.
Does he do?
We own an operating chicken art center in Springfield called Noah's Art Center. Art School.
Oh, it's right, right on CC.
No, it's in Springfield. It's called Noah's Art. It's behind the Andrews on top of it.
be ambiguous in the end. Oh well.
No, we're the only one in the third.
Coming down the middle. That's it.
Well, we have classes.
If you are in the middle section, they are coming to count you now.
Very good. They will.
If you oppose the rules, stand.
Check. They're doing it by
roll. Yeah, I know. I'm just explaining because I still don't think that people get it.
You make a good congressman.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we agree on 128 that oppose.
I think we need 129.
They don't know that.
128. They had 257.
385. 128 divided by 325.
385.
385.
Or recount.
83.2.
Yeah.
One more.
Mr. Chairman,
So that's 3.2%. So do we do the opposite? Do 257 divided by 385. 257 divided by 385.
Well, I want to go check that out.
If ours was wrong, theirs might be.
Mr. Chairman,
If ours was wrong, theirs might be too.
Exactly.
If ours
Divided
was
by
wrong, theirs
385.
might be too.
No, not plus 385. What was our count?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if the vote was that the majority of us, if we're the 2/3, we'd like to make an amendment that no amendment, that all amendments and everything from here on out are voted by majority. The majority.
Pardon? Ma'am, you're out of order at this point. We have a motion on the floor and a second, and we're taking votes on that, and until that is, results of that vote is in, nothing else can be considered. Now, the recount of those opposed was 128. Those in favor was 257. I am not playing
Recount
games.
those,
They needed 128.5 votes to be 1/3, so the majority of 2/3 votes passes the rules as read.
So I would like to make an amendment. I would like to make that amendment right now then. I'd like to restate that from here on out, all amendments will be made by majority rules.
I move that the votes in favor are recounted since the opposition was recounted. It is not fair to be
Second! Second!
The votes in favor should be recounted by the same method.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, let opposed. We recounted, we put 2 people on your revote team.
Only opposition.
And listen, I have the floor. I took 1 person off of the credentials committee to kind of even up the voters, or the talliers. I could have had all 4 of the credentials committee do the tally, and only 1, which is what Robert's Rules of Orders would have dictated, was 1 party from your side, but I gave you 2. I've tried to be more than fair on this. The second recount, you lost.
Point of order. Point of order.
What is your point of order?
Point of order. Chair, we had a break. I physically watched people walk out the door. There is not the original count that we had when we got here this morning.
Correct.
This needs to be treated fairly. Both sides need to be counted physically.
If this side's count had been mistaken, that can easily mean that this side's count is mistaken as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman, isn't it, this side was not contested.
Now, the chair is going to make a ruling. The vote stands as counted. Since I still have the floor, let me explain this. If you want to overrule my decision on this, it takes 2/3 of a vote of the caucus to overrule my ruling. Do you want to go that 2/3 route?
Yes. Sure. Yes.
Recount. Full recount. That's what you want to do. We're welcome for it.
It's a reasonable request.
Mr. Chairman, may I just make a suggestion?
Point of order. There's already a motion on the floor and it's been seconded. All this other stuff that's been going on cannot be discussed until that point of order. Until that motion's been.
That motion was made prior to the decision of the vote on the rules. So therefore it does not stand. At this point, there are no motions or seconds on the floor. Understand?
Mr. Chairman,
Chairman, please put her in order.
Ma'am, sit down. This gentleman, I'll have to recognize next.
Mr. Chairman, the concern of the Assembly towards fairness simply applies to the recess that took place in people that left the Assembly, and therefore materially affecting our numbers, and yes, would have logically materially affected the numbers on the other side also, thus making the recount, thus causing the recount to be materially affected on both sides, sir. And that's why we would humbly request that you would, in fairness, simply count the affirmatives. Simply count the affirmatives.
Be respectful.
Mr. Chairman.
Wait a second. I need to answer this gentleman. We counted opposed twice. We can't be any more fair than that.
This vote was taken after the recess. I'm sorry if some of your people left, some of ours left, but the vote was taken afterwards. And what needs to happen is you people need to stay in your seats, quit getting up and running back and forth. Stay in your seat until all of the votes are counted. And I would like to make a motion, and this is after the
second to that motion?
Point of information.
Now, let me share Robert's Rules of Orders with you, and that is any changes to these rules without this proposed rule or change takes 2/3 vote to change any of these existing rules. Does this motion still stand?
They don't know.
She has rescinded her motion.
Chairman, might I be recognized, please? As a point of information. Is that a recognition? I would like to second the fact that if the opposition's vote changed, it must, and we have math degrees, we know that the, can I speak? If the opposition's vote changed, that must necessarily mean that the proponent's vote must have changed. If there is in the sum of the total, if one changed, the other must change, and I would ask that you please take a recount. It would go quicker than this. What we're doing right now.
The chair has already made a ruling on the votes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I am requesting a recount on the other side because
It's to be by 2/3. So I understand that at this moment, we're offering amendments. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
I propose amendment that every vote in this room be carried by a simple majority and the people are counted row by row.
You have to say, Mr. Chairman.
I rise to the point of order, sir.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this has already been voted on twice. Everybody stood up over there. Everybody stood up who was for.
You're going to have to speak up. The chair cannot hear you.
Everyone that was for the amendment stood up. Everyone that was against the amendment stood up. And they stood up twice. Now, why do we need a third vote to take that again?
Ma'am, the chair has ruled that the vote stands. The rules are adopted at this point. We're open for amendments.
How many times can I do it?
We don't.
Can I keep this here all day and appeal?
May I say one thing, that they're bragging about the vote being carried out after the recess. Y'all took a lot of minutes up there talking about rules after we got back, so nobody should complain about not getting back in here to vote. So they don't have a complaint as far as I'm concerned.
Sir, the floor is open for amendments to the rules.
No.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that we made the decision on the rules, and I believe it's time that we're stalling on the rules, and it's time to move forward to the business that we're here for, which is to select a slate.
Point of order. Point of consideration, sir.
Point of order. There was a motion on the floor.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to introduce an amendment to the rules.
We have a motion over here that was not seconded.
Row by row for this nonsense.
All we're asking is a fair count, sir.
To accept the rules. He already.
He said call by row, that's all I was asking.
bogus count of those in favor of the rules. And that's why.
I apologize. This is getting to be a very emotional meeting, so I apologize for my part in that. I seconded the gentleman's motion, and what I would like to do, and I'm not sure the parliamentary procedure, is to also offer an amendment to that proposed amendment that be amended to have the voting method be determined by the chair.
Mr. Chair. The vote was too close to accept a vote that was counted with two different methods. This vote was too close. The votes in favor must be counted. It is not fair to not recount the original votes with using the same care that was put into the second count. The vote was only off by one vote.
Let's, over here. You need a, Pat, you need a mic. Yes.
Yes, you do.
Okay. They wanted the vote to be the way it was the last time. It was taken, counted the way it was supposed to be, and I say that should be the end of the vote on this so we can move on.
The prior comment was out of order because we have moved on. We are now taking amendments to the rules, and there's a motion and a second. And
challenge the vote.
I would like to repeat the first portion of that. I caught enough of the second. I can do the second portion.
Chair, I challenge the vote.
I have the floor. With the amendment that lady said there, every vote on this floor is decided by simple majority.
We need to censure the chair. No, we don't have enough people. We don't have enough people. Will somebody second my motion in a minute?
What is it?
To recess.
The 8 minutes since that motion was made and second has expired, and that is part of the current rules. So this motion is now ready to be voted on, yea or nay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for recess for a moment.
Because the motion for recess takes precedence over another motion, I'm going to do a voice vote on recess or no recess. Those in favor of recess, let me hear you say aye. Aye! Those opposed to recess, let me hear aye. Aye!
Motion to divide!
All we ask for is rules.
The chair rules in favor of those against the recess. We will now have a vote on the proposed amendments to the rules.
It's on film.
Be on the news tonight.
All in favor of the amendment to the rules?
I would just like to hear the question, please. Can you read the question? Can you read the question, please?
What is the question on the floor, sir?
There is a motion on the floor to amend the rules, and it has been seconded. It has been discussed. We are now ready to, Chair is now ready to take a vote.
Sir, I just want to know exactly what
All I want is the question to be read, exactly what we're voting on, please. I'm not trying to be divisive. I didn't catch about half of what was said. And I don't understand.
Hey, no.
And I don't understand sign language, or I would have sat over there in front of her to be able to catch everything. I apologize.
Okay. The motion, as moved and seconded, is all further votes that the rules to the caucus be amended, that all further votes be a strictly unanimous vote, and how we vote on a majority vote, and the voting method be determined by the caucus chair.
Sir, we had a motion earlier, 2/3, and it's never voted on, correct? We have to have a vote.
All in favor of this amendment to the rules, please stand. May we have our credentials committee vote?
Can I request to be on the counting? Point of information, can I please count? Thank you.
Row by row?
Yeah, exactly.
If you want this completely void, we'll continue breaking the rules.
Row by row.
Row by row, please.
Same as it was for us. This whole thing. Row by row.
Can we make an agreement as a credentials committee vote row by row? Mr. Chairman, point of information. He allowed me to count, and I'm asking we count row by row. It's going to be impossible to count these people.
The same as it was for us.
The same, please.
I asked for a stand-up vote, and that's what we are doing.
Row by row.
I thought we were being fair Republicans. This does not seem fair.
Row by row. Row by row.
Where's the consistency?
Where is the censor rule?
I know.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that the votes be counted the same way on both sides and we agree on one style of voting, row by row or by standing vote.
The chair of the caucus has already said we would do a stand-up vote just like we started.
Third and Bill on the floor, third.
It's discrimination by the minority. Mr. Chairman, I appeal that it is not fair for us to...
Now, if we cannot conduct this in an orderly manner, we have sergeant of arms that will escort people out. After all, we do consider ourselves to be humans, and we do have rules that we abide by. And let's please abide by those and be courteous to everyone, regardless of which side you are on. We don't just shout and carry on.
We need to vote the same way. Row by row.
Point of information, sir.
I appealed it. And somebody seconded me.
Please.
I would like information as to why the vote is going to be different from this side of the room, as so it seems, as the other side. It seems as though this party is being treated differently than the GOP selected party in this room.
Yes.
This seems to be a discriminated vote by the chair.
Yes.
And I disagree with the chair at this time, and I wish for a reconsideration by the chair of the vote.
Yes.
Sir, yes. This caucus started with stand-up votes. The only wait just a second. The only reason we had a different vote was because somebody questioned the vote. So for one reason, because it was...
May I speak? If the original vote was wrong, then this one could be wrong too. Roll by roll is most accurate. I really want to say that.
The chair has issued a warning to some of the people that are not being courteous, and I am done cautioning anyone, regardless of where you're at. We need to conduct an orderly business. I was trying to address this gentleman's question in an orderly manner, and I would appreciate it if you would give me that courtesy. Now, the only reason we did a stand-up row by row was because somebody questioned the official tally of that. So we did a stand-up row by row in order to accomplish that protest. This is the way the voting started, and I would like for it to continue that manner.
May I, sir?
Yes, sir.
We have also questioned the vote, and that seems to be ignored at this time.
Proponents of the rules.
And we are proponents of the rules. We are not against Robert's rules at all, but we are questioning the vote. We have asked for and disagreed with how the vote was being done. You seem to have recounted ours for reconsideration because it was questioned, but you are not considering theirs even though we are requesting it. You just said you did it for us because it was requested, but you are denying it for them even though it is requested, sir.
Mr. Chairman, we have completed the count, and the total number of those in favor of the amendment is 257.
Did they row by row? Anybody else? You confirmed that.
Mom?
Okay, now all of those that are opposed to this amendment to the rules, please stand. Would the Credentials Committee please count?
What was it?
Point of interest, Mr. Chair, point of interest. They're just bulldozing. I don't think you're going to eliminate it.
Still living.
I was thinking to say you're a young Republican.
She's counting.
She already missed Melissa.
Yeah, she missed her twice.
Can I see the mic?
Careful there. Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, point of interest. Counting...
Right here.
Counting row by row seems to be most...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we have a total count for those that are opposed
appointee.
I'd like to just alert the certain implications that might not be fully considered, and I'm just putting it out there so you guys realize.
I'm quite aware of the implications.
Okay, the decision of the chair could be appealed with a simple majority, and all other things came with a simple majority. Just want to make sure the assembly was aware of that, as well as you.
I was quite aware, but I'm not the spokesman for the caucus.
Ed Barrett, you got one on that side.
I'm sorry.
For those of you who did not understand the gentleman's statement, the previous rules to amending the rules sounds funny. Any amendments to the rules that we've already passed did take 2/3 majority to change them. The ruling or the motion that was made and seconded and voted on and passed says it only takes a majority to change the rules. I hope you understand the implications.
I'd like to make this amendment to the rules to speed up this process. We have a fixed number of people confirmed and counted in this room.
No.
Well, it doesn't. Okay. Go ahead. Is that the number we use?
No. That is.
Then let me sit down. I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, just so you know, any vote on any place you want to go, it's how many people are there to vote at that time. I don't care how many people are registered. I don't care how many senators are supposed to be there. I know there's supposed to be so many there, but when they're not there, they don't get to vote. And that's the same way with this caucus. I had somebody standing way in the back.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We have somebody over here first.
I would like to introduce an amendment to the rules. I would like to amend that each slate is represented on the counting committee.
No, wait just a second. Now, tell me that again. I didn't catch all of that.
I would like to amend that each slate is represented on the counting committee and participate in the counting.
Sir? No. I don't believe that motion and second is necessary because that's part of the normal process.
Point of information, sir.
Am I not correct? That's not
It was not done last time, sir.
Okay, if you want to vote on it, anyway, let's go ahead then. Any discussion? Any discussion? We need a microphone over here for discussion.
I would just like that clarified. Is he asking for a percentage, or is he just saying that there will be all, like, Romney, Gingrich, or what is he saying? That's what I want to know.
He's asking for the tally committee, for someone anyone that introduces a slate. In case there's 3 slates, someone from each of those slates be on part of the tally committee. Nothing to do about who's delegated to anybody or committed to anybody. It's strictly on the telling of the votes.
For the discussion, I would just like to state that in the last amendment that passed by 2/3 majority, part of that was that the chairman would determine the method of voting, and I would say that he will probably make sure that it's fair. Thank you.
Any further discussion on this motion? If not, because that's standing procedure, do we need to vote on it?
Point of information.
Let
We have a gentleman in the back first.
I apologize, I did not understand the rules, I rescind my motion.
Rescind the motion.
Chairman, I'd like to make another motion.
We have this gentleman here first.
I just need a point of information. Could you read the rule that states that that is the way it is?
I don't know the page,
Parliamentary.
chapter.
So it's not part of the standing caucus?
That is a standing procedure at a county caucus.
We're making a standing.
The parliamentary.
Not on the what's outside.
That's in the state rules. Either if we have people from two positions or two propositions, as we have here, everybody's pretty adamant about their position. Either side can request a member of their party or their delegation to be part of the tally committee and count the votes. That is not a problem. I mean, does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes. So anytime that there is a motion and a vote on something, it's pretty obvious here there's a definite divide. Somebody from your side, and I would suggest you have the same person every time. At any time you want to, you can request from the chair that your person be a part of the tally committee. Either faction we have here. There's not a problem with that. That's a part of the state rules. So is everybody clear? Okay.
Point of interest. Chairman. I move to close all amendments and rulings at this. We want to move on with the process. We want to end these motions and go on. We would like to close the amendment process at this time. Can we vote on that? To close the amendment process.
Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. The motion was to, the motion, I'm positive that there's no other motion on the floor at this point, at this time, except for the one back here, which we do not, if he withdrew the motion, we do not need to vote.
He is saying that he rescinded the motion.
Okay, so the motion that's on the floor at this point is to forego any further amendments or discussion of the rules, but to continue with the process. That is the motion, and there is a second. It's open for discussion.
Mr. Chairman.
The floor minute, I have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, in discussion of this vote, I would like to say that I would like to offer an amendment if I have that chance. Thank you.
I have some discussion about this motion. I guess I got a minute. Is that the rules?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys, you clearly have the majority. If what we're doing today and what we're doing later on is about beating Obama, you're getting ready to disenfranchise a large group of people. If you guys clearly have the majority, you should concede to the minority. That's what these rules are for.
She has the floor.
I have the floor.
Wait just a second, Melissa. She has the floor. Be courteous to her like we've asked them to be courteous to the rest of you. Be courteous. Let's hear her out. She has that prerogative. She is a valid voter. She has that prerogative.
You all came here today to engage in this process. If you want to go home, but do not ruin the process for the rest of us.
Stop talking!
Hey,
Sergeant Arms. Yep.
I'm just asking that we all be courteous and be fair to the minority, because you might have been the minority today and you would have asked for the same concessions. So if you want this party to be united, if you want this party to come together and beat Obama in November, you will be fair to the minority. The job today is not to disenfranchise people, it's to have a large umbrella. If you remember what Ronald Reagan said, we need a big tent. We need people to beat Obama. Do not make enemies today. It is unnecessary. You have the majority.
Time up.
We have a motion on the floor that's been seconded. Let's vote on it.
It's discussion.
We have about 3 minutes left on the discussion.
Mr. Chair, I don't support this amendment because there's an in the rule, unless we just changed it, there is a rule that one of these votes are secret. We are not in a voting booth. We are in a public forum. And unless my amendment earlier made every vote public, and then I want to reserve the right to make that amendment.
It did not. It did not. That secret ballot vote is still ahead of us.
I oppose this amendment. I really do want to get on. But I want all votes to be public, and I didn't include it in my amendment.
Okay. We have about 2 minutes left of discussion on this. We need a
Excuse me, Chairman. Excuse me. I'm over here. First of all, I would like to ask that if there's any discussion, that it would be directly to the amendment that we are talking about. We can all get on a podium here and, you know, I could say your strategy is to try to run off these people, drag this out all day so that these people will leave. And I ask you, do not leave, please. But she was not addressing that amendment directly. And I think that that's what we need to be doing.
We need a mic over here. We got 1 minute left.
For the person.
Mr. Chairman, I oppose the ending of all amendments for the purpose that Mr. John Dillstater, if you could stand up just a moment, just so people